자야라 다마다바 군자비하리 자야라 다마다바 군자비하리 고피자나 발라바 기리바라다리 고피자나 발라바 기리바라다리 야쇼다난다나 파자자라난자나 야쇼다난다나 파자자나난자나 야무나띠라 바나차리 야무나띠라 바나차리 자야라 다마다바 근자비하리 고피자나 발라바 기리바라다리 야쇼다난다나 파자자라난자나 야쇼다난다나 파자자라난자나 야무나띠라 바나차리 야무나띠라 바나차리 자야라 타마다바 근자비하리 하레 크리스나 하레 크리스나 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 하레 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 라마 하레 라마 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 하레 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 크리스나 하레 크리스나 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 하레 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 라마 하레 라마 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 하레 하레 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramamsa Paribrakacharya Ashtotara Sattasi Srimad Esi Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja Prabhupada ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामा 큰 나라 큰 길이 고바단 की श्री मथुरा वृंदाधाम की श्री मायापुर धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की समवेत भक्तवृंद की गौर प्रमानंदे. O glorious to the assembled devotees, O glorious to the assembled devotees, O glorious to the assembled devotees, O glorious to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga, O glorious to Srila Prabhupada. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 18, Text number 5. Repeat. Reciting Sanskrit. Tvai samstite kadayashina shishani asmat puja chutaya ye chatubhyam palim haran tyashayo ye chadeva Svayam sarvena bhavishatyamula Tvai samstite gadayashina shishani Asmat puja chutaya yechadubhyam Palim haran Tishayo yechadeva Svayam sarvena bhavishantyamula. Vai samstite kadayashi nashishani. Asma puja chutaya etsadubhyam. Palim harantyashayo etsadeva. Svayam sarvena bhavisantyamula. 다시. Vai samstite kadayashi nashishani. Asma puja chutaya etsadubhyam. Jayo chadeva. Svayam sarvena bhavisantyamuna. Word for word. Vai, when you. Samstite, are killed. Kadaya, by the mace. Shirna, smashed. Shirshani, skull. Asmat puja, from my hand. Chutaya, released. Ye, those who. Cha, and. Tupyam, to you. Palim, presentations. Haranti, offer. Rishaya, sages. Ye, those who. Cha, and. Devaha, demigods. Svayam, automatically. Sarve, all. Na, not. Bhavishanti, will exist. Amulaha, without roots. Without roots. Translation. The demon continued, when you fall dead with your skull smashed by the mace held by my arms, the demigods and sages who offer you oblations and sacrifice in devotional service will also automatically cease to exist, like trees without roots. Please repeat. The demon continued, when you fall dead with your skull smashed by the mace held by my arms, the demigods and sages who offer you oblations and sacrifice in devotional service will also automatically cease to exist, like trees without roots. Purport. Demons are very much disturbed when devotees worship the Lord in the prescribed ways recommended in the scriptures. In the Vedic scriptures, the neophyte devotees are advised to engage in 9 kinds of devotional service, such as to hear and chant the holy name of God, to remember Him always, to chant on beads, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, to worship the Lord in the form of His deity incarnation in the temples, and to engage in various activities of Krishna consciousness, to increase the number of godly persons for perfect peace in the world. Demons do not like such activity. They are always envious of God and His devotees. Their propaganda not to worship in the temple or church, but simply to make material advancement for satisfaction of the senses is always current. The demon Hiranyaksha, upon seeing the Lord face to face, wanted to make a permanent solution by killing the personality of Godhead with his powerful mace. The example of an uprooted tree mentioned here by the demon is very significant. Demons accept that God is the root of everything. Their example is that just as the stomach is the source of energy of all the limbs of the body, God is the original source of all energy manifested in the material and spiritual worlds. Therefore, as supplying food to the stomach is the process to satisfy all the limbs of the body. Krishna consciousness, or developing love of Krishna, is the sublime method for satisfying the source of all happiness. The demon wants to uproot this source because if the root, God, were to be checked, the activities of the Lord and the devotees would automatically stop. The demon would be very much satisfied by such a situation in society. Demons are always anxious to have a godly society for their sense gratification. According to Sridhar Swami, this verse means that when the demon would be deprived of his mace by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not only the neophyte devotees, but also the ancient sagacious devotees of the Lord would be very much satisfied. Omma Gyan Timiran Dasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sorry. So before discussion of this verse, His Holiness Kadamba Swami said, he actually asked this question during his Srimad Bhagavatam class. Who is more important in Srimad Bhagavatam class? Is it speaker or listener? Who do you think more important? Anyone can say something? Equal. That makes sense, but it's different from what he said. He said, speaker is more, this is what I thought actually. I thought speaker is more important because speaker is the one who prepares and who delivers the message. But what he said was, listener is more important because it's the listener who empowers and inspires the speaker to deliver the message. So I want to say thank you all of you to come here and be present in this class. And thank you for, hopefully you can empower me and inspire me so that I can say something beneficial, so that I can say something helpful. And if I say something wrong, please correct me or guide me so that I can grow and contribute more. So, when I was reading this verse, the first thought that came to me was that why demons are disturbed? Because demons are doing their own thing and devotees are doing their own thing, like devotional service. So it's not their business actually. Then why they are disturbed? So, but Prabhupada said, because they are always envious of God and His devotees. And actually, envy is the very quality that distinguished between demons and devotees. And in that sense, actually, all of us are demons, isn't it? Because actually, envy is the very thing that made us conditioned soul. Otherwise, we are already liberated, isn't it? So, as we are demon, actually, there is proved in the scripture. In Satya Yuga, demon and devotees, they lived separate planets. And, Treta Yuga, where they lived in the same planet. And Dvapara Yuga, they lived as a same family. And Kali Yuga, demon and devotees live in one person. So we are both demon and hopefully devotees. So we both, in our mind, we have both devotee dog and devotee, in our mind, we have a demon dog and devotee dog, according to Radhanath Swami. So which one barks more? Where bark? Which dog bark more, do you think? The one you feed more, isn't it? So we should feed our devotee dog so that they can bark more. So how do we feed devotee dog? As we know, actually it was given in this verse by worshipping, doing 9 process of devotional service, by chanting Hare Krishna, and increase the number of godly person. That's devotee's business. By doing so, we feed devotee dog. But not just doing mechanically, do it properly. So how can you do it properly? I came up with 3 things. First thing is with knowledge, knowing the reason why we are doing this. We do this arti and sadhana every day, but I'm not sure if, and at least myself, if I'm really conscious of this practice every day. So it's good to know why we are doing this, the reason why we are doing this deity worship. I'm not supposed to point to my finger. Why do we do this deity worship and class and chant? I still vividly remember what Ajita Prabhu said, because it was really fascinating to me. It was when I was new devotee, when I joined after a couple of years. He said something very interesting about why we perform arti, and especially ghee lamp. So why do we offer ghee lamp to the Lord? What's the significance of ghee lamp? So what he said was, rain comes from the sky, and the rain feeds the grass, and the cow eats the grass, and the grass becomes blood of the cow, and then the blood becomes the milk. And then from that milk, we make butter, and from butter, we make ghee, and when we offer the result to thank God for all the process, all the providing everything, like rain, grass, and even air and cow milk. So we offering back to God as thank you. So that really fascinated me. I still remember that. And not only ghee lamp, each item has significance. Do you know what incense means? What does incense mean when you offer incense to the Lord? It's one of the 5 elements. It's air, if I remember correctly. And we said lamp. Also lamp also means we offering fire. And we offer water as well, like as water. And what about flower? What? Yeah, earth and handkerchief as well. So there are 5 elements of universe, including conch. I forgot the conch. Conch means ether because it's sound. So we're offering these 5 elements back to the Lord to thank the Lord to providing all these elements in nature. So we need this knowledge, and also we need the philosophy. That's why we read book and study scripture like Srimad Bhagavatam and Nectar of Devotion to have philosophical background. And speaking of book, I found Nectar of Devotion quite fascinating, isn't it? Sometimes because Nectar of Devotion is, according to Prabhupada, it's science of bhakti, science of love of Godhead. So science love seems a bit contradictory, but as I read and studied the book, I was really fascinated. You know, when I think of love, you know, sometimes I feel so much love. I just love everyone. And next moment, I feel I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to be myself. I hate myself. And so love is not like this mood swing. There's a science to it. So love is not a cheap thing. According to Nectar of Devotion, there are so many like clear distinctions of symptoms of love, and there's even names for it. I'm just gonna read a few things just to give you an idea. So I'm just gonna read from Waves of Devotion, which is a study guide of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is Nectar of Devotion. So there's a chapter 20. It's from chapter 20, entitled Transcendental Mellow. And the first wave is called Vibhava. Vibhava is that which stimulates one's eternal affection for Krishna, heightening it to the point of relishable intensity. So, and the next one, Anubhava. Anubhava is an action that results from heightened affection for Krishna, which serves to further enhance that affection. Very clear and very distinctive description of each symptom and love. And this even further, we can return to the same example. When a mother's affection is stimulated, loving emotions swell up in the heart and must be expressed. I'm really curious of how it would feel. Maybe Krishna Bhavana Mataji and Vrindayani Mataji can relate, and Liriko as well. Perhaps she'll embrace her child. This corresponds to Anubhava. It results from heightened affection and serves to further enhance that affection. And the next one is Sattvika Bhav. Sattvika Bhav is an involuntary reaction that results from heightened affection for Krishna, which serves to further enhance that affection. So when I was reading those things, I was so fascinated. There's names for it, and there's very clear explanations for it. That means that these feelings are quite conceptualized, and has name for it means that it's discussed actually as words and language. So Sanskrit is very highly refined language. So we need to study those books to to develop love of Godhead. So second point is with association, to feed our devotee dog. So it's often stressed during class, but I'm gonna repeat. So why we need association? To keep us motivated and enthused. I have a personal experience when I was in Korea during COVID. I was practicing alone without devotee association. It was really difficult because human being as social animal, we have this tendency, we want to harmonize with the people surround us. And if you keep remaining stranger and strange person, it's really difficult. I felt as if I'm swimming against the current. I had swimming against the current. Felt like I have to put extra effort just to do simple thing like chanting. It's not simple, but chanting and reading. I have to make double endeavor. So and also, if you are out of the devotee association, the danger is that because human as a social animal, it decreases our faith because you are only one who believes in this Krishna consciousness, but others not. That creates doubt and also decrease confidence. I was after finish my time in Korea, I reflected I was very low with my self-esteem. I was very not confident being a devotee. So it's very important to keep devotee association. And lastly, we need to practice this with attention. Like recently, Ashraya Tattva Prabhu brought up really nice points. We should pay attention when we perform our sadhana. Like he was saying that especially when we recite prayers and when you recite prayers during Mangalati or something, we should know the word for word, the meaning of each word. That gives us more focus and more makes us being attentive. I mean, sadhana without attention is like swimming on the surface. You kind of in the water, but you don't see much. Actually, you don't really see. But sadhana with attention means you are diving deep into the ocean. This is the real world, isn't it? There's so many living creatures down there. But if you are doing just surface level, you're not even like seeing it, isn't it? So it's very important to do it with attention and be conscious of what we are doing. So moving on to next point. In the purport, the example of an uprooted tree mentioned by demon was mentioned. So from this, that means that so these demons define Krishna by saying that we're gonna uproot you and devotees, but at the same time, demons are glorifying Krishna because demons are acknowledging that Krishna is source of everything. So I'm just gonna read the purport again because this is really nicely said by Srila Prabhupada. Devotees accept that God is the root of everything. Their example is that just as the stomach is the source of energy of all the limbs of the body, God is the original source of all energy manifested in the material and spiritual worlds. Therefore, as supplying food to the stomach is the process to satisfy all the limbs of the body, Krishna consciousness, or developing love of Krishna, is the sublime method for satisfying the source of all happiness. So basically, it is saying that by satisfying or pleasing Krishna, we can please everyone and we can satisfy everyone, including ourselves. So it's kind of liberating statement for frustrated people pleasure, isn't it? Then how can you satisfy everyone by satisfying Krishna? It is also given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, 31, 19. Very famous verse. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushcha yena kenava sarvendriya yo pashantyacha tushyantyashu janardana. So here is the translation. By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and restricting the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardana. So actually, pleasing Krishna is so easy, isn't it? Those three things. By doing this, we can satisfy everyone. So it's very hopeful verse. I'm gonna elaborate a little more, if that is okay. So first point is that Dayaya sarva bhuteshu, by showing mercy to all living entities. So what does it mean by mercy? Like what mercy we should show to other living entities? What's the real mercy? Of course, we can give food, we can give them shelter, if we can give money if they need. But is that real mercy? Because it solves only temporary problem. We can give food to hungry people, but how long it will last? Maybe a couple of hours. And shelter, same thing. It's only temporary arrangement, and money as well. It will be spent maybe in ignorant way. So it's not real solution. And eventually, everyone has to go through this repeated birth, death, and old age and disease. So real solution is getting people out of these four problems of this material world by sharing Krishna consciousness. And why sharing Krishna consciousness with others satisfy Krishna? It's like, if you have kids and you lose your kids, hopefully it doesn't happen. But if you lose your kids, you are extremely anxious and very painful, isn't it? Just imagining that. But if someone brings you your kids, someone brings your kids back to you, then you'll be very, very happy and very grateful. And you'll be ecstasy. And that's how Krishna would feel if you bring someone to Krishna consciousness. God is most pleased when you do that. So that is the real mercy we can give to people and please Krishna. And in the regards, when you share this knowledge with others, we also need to be careful. I heard this interesting term called intellectual laziness. That means that when you share knowledge with someone, we don't just share this knowledge in front of them. We have to kind of make this knowledge in a way they can digest, they can relate. Otherwise, they might reject and they might have a bad impression. So that has to be there. And also need to provide them philosophical background and reasons, not just telling people, oh, you shouldn't eat meat, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't have intoxication. But we also need to give them the reasons in a way they can digest. And the second thing, how we please the Lord, is being satisfied somehow or other. Why God is pleased when you are satisfied? Why, if we are satisfied, why God, Krishna is happy? Because it shows our trust in God. Everything that happened to us, everything that's around us is perfectly arranged by Krishna for our spiritual advancement. So we just need to be satisfied by that. And that shows your trust in God. Everything is given to us for our spiritual advancement, no matter it's seemingly unfavorable for your desire, but it is for our growth that's given to us. So by being satisfied and even further being grateful, it pleases Krishna. And last point, how to satisfy Krishna and please everyone, is that restricting the senses from sense enjoyment. Then why it pleases Krishna when we control our senses? Why it's pleasing Krishna? Oh yeah, good point. Thanks. Because it helps us to grow our spiritual desire. Yeah, that's a good one. And what else could be? Yes, yeah. It shows our eagerness that we want to close to Him, because we have to sacrifice to control our senses. Yeah. Also, we control our senses because I think it's more for us, isn't it? Because sense gratification actually makes us selfish, and selfish is actually opposite to love. If we are selfish, we can't really think of love of God and what to speak of others. So, indeed, when you are gratifying our senses, we can't really think of others. That's why intoxication is very bad, because when you are into intoxication, you don't really think of others. You think of your own satisfaction and your senses. So, yeah, that's another way we can please the Lord. So that's all I was gonna say today. And if there's any comments, questions, or correction, please. I'm open to everything.
Haribo, thanks for the class.
Thank you.
I had a question about Krishna likes us being satisfied. But then I feel like you can never be satisfied like it with your chanting, for example, because you're always kind of dealing with what level of consciousness you're at that particular time, and sometimes it can fluctuate. So how does it relate being how can you relate that being satisfied but also we're not where we want to be, we're not with Krishna?
In terms of chanting?
Yeah, well, just being with Krishna in general, like satisfaction in our spiritual life, if we're not we're not with Krishna directly, or we're not in the spiritual world.
Actually, that was my main motivation when I joined the movement. I want to have that satisfaction or happiness through this practice. But actually, satisfaction and happiness, if you pursue that, it goes away. So it has to be, the intention has to be, I will put other way. this our satisfaction and happiness through spiritual practice has to be byproduct from our practice. If you pursue it, it will just go away. So our intention firstly has to be fixed in satisfying Krishna first, and that satisfaction has to come as byproduct. Otherwise, if you pursue that happiness I'm not saying that you are doing it, but my case, if when I was pursuing this satisfaction and happiness for our own, I got frustrated because that is not the intention of spiritual practice actually, because eventually we have to be selfless to attain love of God. So if you pursue your own pleasure, it won't be obtained. So at least ideally we need to fix our goal to please Krishna, and then let the satisfaction come as byproduct. That's the idea. I'm not there yet.
You chant to please, that's the goal, right? To chant to please Krishna, but then even if you're not there, you're not satisfied as well, you know. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Mm. 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 Yeah. Mm. Mm. Oh, thank you so much, Mataji. So Krishna is Bhakti Grahi Janardana. His is our attention. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Nice points. Anything else? Anyone? Did I answer your question okay? Maybe I didn't get your question rightly. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think we're gonna end. Thank you so much for your patience and attention. Hare Krishna.